In this video, I am going to show you how to use the list wizard, so let's get started. We're going to break this down into 3 sections: list wizard searches, reports and lists, and list actions. Now, almost any search you'd ever want to perform in School Lunch is already built over in these drop-down menus. So you could search for students, let's show all delinquent accounts. All the students that fit the criteria will populate here in this list box. The same goes for family searches. We could show all delinquent family accounts. They would populate here as well. Click reset at any time to clear your screen and start a new search. There's also a custom search available. Let's say, for example, you wanted to pull up 3 new students to print barcodes for them. You could search for each student by their ID number. So let's go ahead and do that. Click search, move found over to the list wizard list box. Let's do the same for our other students. And those are the 3 students that we needed to print records for, so we would just go ahead and print their barcodes right here. Another popular way to search for students is to search by class. So there is a drop-down menu dedicated to classes right here. I am going to go ahead and pull up all my students, show all students, and use these individuals to perform reports and lists. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up all of my students here, show all students, for the sake of showing you how reports and lists work. So under this print report menu drop down here, we have a bunch of different pre-templated lists commonly used to track student information. So for example, alphanumeric PIN is going to give you the student's name, student's ID number, and their PIN number if your school uses the web account viewer. So let's take a look at what this particular list looks like. I always recommend saving your file as a PDF for viewing before you actually stick paper in your printer and print the document. I don't endorse any specific PDF creator. There are several available on the web. If you have a Mac or you use a Mac, the PDF print option is built right into the Mac. So go ahead and see what this list will look like. You can see it gives the student ID number, the student name, and the student PIN number. Now I just want to mention that before you print any reports, you can go and sort your list by clicking on the top header of any of the columns up here. You can sort by ID in ascending or descending order. You could sort by last name, first, etc., and so forth. If you ever needed to print labels, mailing labels, labels to go home on packets to the parents, there are label options available here. They will print 30 to a page. This is common, like Avery label stock that you can find at any of your computer supply stores. Let's talk about barcodes. School Lunch generates a unique barcode for each individual. They are generally used in conjunction with our colored plastic cards and barcode scanner available on our website. Some schools opt to print ID cards. So if you click on ID card, this is our ID card viewer. You can use these arrows here to scroll through your students, see what their card is going to look like. You can choose to include a class name on there or leave the class name off. These 2 text boxes over to the right allow you to adjust your cards for printing. A lot of schools like to use pre-perfed business card stock that you can get at any office supply store. These come in handy when helping to set up these cards for printing. So to give you an idea of what they'll look like, we'll go ahead and look at our PDF. You can see they print 10 to a page. On to list actions. We're going to go ahead and skip email for the time being. We'll do a separate video for email to show how that works. It's a really cool new feature. Meal stats. Let's go to meal stats here. Meal stats kind of gives us the statistics for students that have eaten lunch, how much they've spent, the lunch count, deposit count, all that jazz. So go ahead and select the month you want to view and go ahead and press begin report. Now I'm using a dummy play file here, so all of my balances are going to be 0 and all my counts are 0. Your school information shouldn't look like this unless it's the beginning of a new school year. All the statistics should populate here for you, and you can switch months up here if you want to check out another month. Click begin report. You also have the option to export this information or print it as well. So check out those options. When you click on family balance here, if anyone in this list is associated with a family, this balance field will override with a family balance in its place. If the individual is not associated with a family, nothing will happen. Their balance will just stay the same there for you. The special menu here allows you to make changes to certain groups. We can change class, change track, change status, or generate random pins. So for example, let me show you how to change a class. We're going to go ahead and make sure our list box is clear, and we're going to search for Mrs. Foth's class. Now, if these guys were all moving on to another class, we could simply change everyone in the class at once by using the change class option. It's going to ask you to make a backup before you attempt to do this, just in case there's any problems. Go ahead and click change class. A new drop-down list will appear down here, class list. Assign them to the new teacher or their new class. Click change all, and that group of students has now been assigned a new teacher. Another example in the specials menu is the generate random pins. This works if you use the web account viewer. You can generate a pin number, a 4-digit pin or a 5-digit pin. You can choose to replace previously assigned pins if you want. Be careful with this option. We'll go ahead and close that. Now we can export. We can export record info, ID and balance, all exporting saves to a tab delimited file for easy importing into any spreadsheet or database program. The remove option right here allows us to refine our list box search results. So for example, if I wanted to send a reminder email to the parents of students with a balance less than 0, we could search for and select everyone with a balance greater than 0. And this would narrow down the group of students that we want to send the email home to. We can also delete any group of students. This is useful for, say, your graduating class. If you wanted to pull up your 8th graders, if you're on K through 8th grade, Wilson, delete those students and they will be deleted from school lunch. Now, if that student is associated with a family or has siblings, that information will stay intact. You are only deleting in this case, your graduating class. You will be prompted to do a backup. Always a good idea. And that about wraps it up for the List Wizard. Again, refer to the online manual for other features and information regarding the List Wizard.